Yeah, if you haven't heard this morning, the RTX 50 series had caught on fire. Specifically, the ASUS Astral. Someone was playing on Reddit, and apparently it caught fire, which is another terrible incident of the RTX 50 series. So, if I'm looking all over the place, I have two streams going on. I got a stream going on with my phone, and also I got a stream going on with my desktop as well. But there's a lot of issues going on with the RTX 50 series. Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah, man. Just seems like the RTX 50 series can't stay out of trouble. There's always some sort of issue going on, and it just doesn't stop. Apparently, it caught fire through a PCB, and this guy he posted it on NVIDIA's website. This happened about relatively like about 12 hours ago, and hopefully, you guys caught my new YouTube video. And apparently, this guy he was playing his PC games, and when he was done, he was playing in the afternoon. His PC suddenly shut down as he was browsing just the internet. He wasn't even gaming or anything like that. So that's the wild part. He wasn't even gaming. He was just browsing the internet. And then he just went to go restart his PC. And then all of a sudden his GPU caught fire. And as soon as it caught fire, he took out the GPU and saw burn marks on the GPU and the actual motherboard, which is insane. And apparently, this is a ongoing issue that just doesn't stop. Let me clear this out real quick. Now, if you haven't heard already, there are OPs on a lot of the GB202, which is the RTX 5090s. They're running into issues. They're running into problems to where they're actually missing some of the ROPs, which is important. A lot of that is very important, especially when it comes to high resolutions. It practically creates pixels for your graphics cards and everything like that. This 50 series just cannot stay out of trouble. It just seems like it keeps running into issues. And with what happened currently, this with the Astral catching fire, Astral RTX 5090, uh, this Astral caught on fire to the point where it actually even scorched a little bit of the motherboard. And this just happened about 12 hours ago and was reported on Reddit about 12 hours ago. And I don't know how everybody feels about the 50 series, but they kind of really, this is honestly probably the worst launch that NVIDIA has done. Personally, for me, I would definitely keep it out of a personal rig because there's just too many issues, and you're going to spend over well over $2,000 for a RTX 50 series. Now, if you get an AIB, especially an AIB from Gigabyte or ASUS or any large manufacturer, you're going to be spending more than likely well over 27 to 3,000 USD on a graphics card, which it can't just, it's so hot to the point where it just keeps catching fire. And I wouldn't suggest anybody to get a RTX 50 series just alone for those issues. For those who got the RTX 5070 Ti, I hope you guys don't really run into any of these issues. A lot of the issues that it is pertaining to is the GB202. Now, NVIDIA did come out, they had a statement. I think it was this morning or it was really late last night. I missed their complete statement, but apparently NVIDIA says it's not only the GB202 and it's affected other chipsets, that it's even affected the RTX 5070 Ti where it's missing ROPs. Don't know how true it is. I haven't seen any RTX 5070 Ti's missing any ROPs. I don't think anybody has reported it. But if you are experiencing it, please feel free to share in the chat. I would love to know if you're running into the same issue. Um, but if you haven't heard last night, there was a guy, he was just browsing the internet. He was using a ASUS Astro RTX 5090, and he was just browsing the internet. He did game in the afternoon, but now he's just casually browsing the internet like we all do, whether we're on YouTube or Twitch or any other website. He was on the internet, and then all of a sudden he noticed his PC was smoking. As soon as he went over to take a look at his PC, he noticed an orange spark, which of course that's never good. And he immediately shut down his PC to find out that as soon as he pulled the graphics card, as soon as he pulled it out, he realized that it was scorched, it was burned. There was a lot of there was damage with the PCB, and there was also damage even onto his motherboard. Now it was scorched. It's hard to say if any of the actual components were involved with the line of fire, so to say. And if they were, hopefully that he gets this situation dealt with. Now, for anybody who is purchasing a RTX 50 series, and especially if you're trying to purchase it off of, say, Marketplace or off of eBay, just be careful because you don't want to, first off, you don't want to support these scalpers. Second, if you do get a GPU, you want to make sure that you have the warranty that is involved with getting this GPU. Hopefully, they'll cover the other components if somehow you get into the same situation that the motherboard caught fire. Now, the list can go on and on with the RTX 50 series. It's just, personally, I find it quite insane that these issues are continually going on. And honestly, it's got to be the worst NVIDIA launch I've ever heard in NVIDIA's history because I haven't heard so many different issues. Let alone you have driver issues, you have melting issues, you have now fires, and you also have other issues that are more than likely going to happen and persist because again there isn't even all these RTX 50 series cards that haven't been quite distributed yet, but it's just insane. It really is. I just hope that whoever does want to do a PC build, I hope you guys are um, very careful about it. I hope you guys know what type of GPU that you want to get, especially really think about it because you don't want to spend $2,000, over $2,000, and let alone building a PC is already expensive as it is, especially now with tariffs and everything that's going on. You go and purchase a PC and all the components, and this is without the GPU, probably going to spend a little bit under 2,000, and that's without the GPU. And let alone here comes this big monster, the RTX 5090. You throw that in there, and more than likely you could run into damages, and that's the last thing you really want to do. That's something that I would really stress away from going away from is something like that. I just hope that everybody definitely hears out that message about the RTX 50 series and to stay away from it. Hey, Madeline. Hey, Omar. Hey, Antonio. Hey, Charlie's. Hi, what's up? What's going on? I see you're on the vertical. I mean, yeah, on the vertical stream here. And yeah, as you know, this RTX 50 series is running into a lot of issues. Definitely stay away from it if you are looking to purchase a GPU. This is just my fair warning. You can do whatever you want. You can go and purchase the RTX 50 series. Personally, for me, I have to purchase it because I want to see what is going on with it. I want to see the different issues. I personally don't want to put it into my main rig. I don't know anyone who, in their right mind, would. It's the most expensive card that is out there, but it's having all these issues. But yet, people still want to purchase it. I don't know why. There's all these issues that are going on with it, but there's I I would highly suggest to stay away from the RTX 5090, the GB202. Let me pull up that statement from NVIDIA real quick, just to let you know what they are saying about it. Now, with the RTX 50 series, let's see, NVIDIA's RTX 50 series ROP's statement. Eh, All right, so NVIDIA definitely confirms it. So this is what they've said, quote unquote. We have identified a rare issue affecting less than half. So just 0.5%, half a percent of a GeForce RTX 5090s and RTX 5090Ds, the ones that they produce for China, and also the RTX 5070 Ti GPUs. We have fewer ROPs than specified. The average graphical performance impact is 4%, and with no impact on AI compute workloads. Affected consumers can contact the board manufacturer for replacements. The production anomaly has been corrected. And this is what NVIDIA has said. Now, some of the rumors, they are saying that this is what has affected the RTX 5090 supply. And that's hard to say. Their supply issue was a lot more involved than just this whole ROP mess here. The supply issue dates back because of there was the Lunar New Year's for the RTX 5090 release. As you remember, the RTX 5090 and I believe the RTX 5080 released on the same day. They both released of January 30th of 2025. And when they did, that is during the Lunar Year, New Year's. And if you don't know, especially in Taiwan, they'll take a whole week off for the New Year's. And when they do, there is not going to be any production at all. When there is no production at all, means, of course, there's not going to be any cards out there. There's not going to be any 5090s to send anywhere across the world. But anyway, to get to the point, there was a large impact. There was a large earthquake that affected Jiayi in Taiwan, which is in Jiayi. There's a large TSMC factory over there, and because it affected that of course damaged some of the supply, let alone, and as it did, they were able to salvage at least half of it, and when they did, that didn't really lead to much supply in the US. Remember, some micro centers didn't even receive the RTX 5090. And for those who are across in other countries, such as the UK, they've really faced a low amount of RTX 5090s and 5080s once it was released. But later on, then we started hearing issues about this melting issue with the RTX 5090, especially when it comes to third-party manufacturers. And for those who have a dedicated 12-volt high power port or a 12-volt 2x6 graphics, who has the PSU to support that, more than likely you won't run into the issue. But for those who did get the third-party cables, such as Mod DIY or Cable Mod or any of those manufacturers out there, ran into the issue of melting. And that's because there was a Mod DIY did mention it. They said that they fixed the issue, so to say, and as soon as they fixed the issue, then they corrected it and fixed it from there. But now we are running into issues of missing ROPs. That's quite important, especially when you are gaming. It affects anti-aliasing. It also affects the graded pixels when it comes to graphics cards. It's also affects the smoothness of the pixels and everything when it comes to it. And especially for those who game in 4K or that really wants to game in 4K, it will affect it. It won't run as smooth. You'll notice less FPS because of it, and because of that, um, you'll have that problem. Oh, hang on. Let me see here. So I can't imagine for those everybody out there who let me see. Sorry about that. I'm just checking the live stream here on my vertical stream, at least on YouTube. It looks like it is unlisted. I'm gonna have to fix that one. But everybody out there, I hope you are enjoying your day so far. I hope this RTX 50 series hasn't affected you in any type of way. Hopefully, for those who are facing the issues as missing ROPs, let me start off with make sure to contact where you purchased the card from in the first place. Try to return it and then get a replacement. Well, that's probably not as good as idea as contacting the actual manufacturer. Let me see here. Let's see. But yeah, more than likely, you're gonna run into an issue to even if you want to get a replacement card, you're probably going to run into issues because you're not going to probably see a card for um, maybe a couple months if you're lucky. Uh, I everybody's running into issues in getting the RTX 50 series in the first place, especially those who are trying to purchase it. I don't know what uh, these stores are doing, these merchants, what just like Newegg. If you were out there trying to purchase the RTX 5070 and you were running into that issue where it seemed like they only posted the ones that were the most expensive ones that were $999, which you can get a RTX 5080 series, which is ridiculous. For some reason, they seemed that they were having those. It seems like they were trying to get rid of those prior to all the ones that they actually had. The good ones. The good ones were a little bit over $700. $749 should really be how much you're spending on a RTX 5070 Ti. All right, let me take a breather here. I'm just gonna check this stream out because apparently on the vertical side, it looks like it is not listed. I gotta make sure to list it here. Yes. All right. Stream is helping. Edit. Quick highlight video at stream or share. No. No. You guys are more than welcome to talk in the chat here. Let me see. I just want to put this here. Now, I'm messing with this whole vertical chat. I haven't really played too much around it. So this is also new to me. Let me see. How's everybody doing out there? I hope everybody is doing great. I hope your PC is perfectly fine. I hope your PC isn't catching any fire. Um, let me see. Oh, here we go. Let's see. No. Where is it? Forgive me if I'm silent. I'm just trying to find something here. This stream cannot be accessed or managed unless exiting will not end the stream. Okay. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. publish for everybody out. Oh, wait. There you go. There we go. Now we're good. Now we're solid. Perfect. So, for those tuning in, if you're not familiar with who I am Chris Mizo. I am doing both a vertical and horizontal stream. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask. I love hearing from you guys. I do plan on doing I do want to do a giveaway sometime soon, but I have to see what is going on. I was supposed to receive some goodies that were coming in. They were supposed to come in today. I was supposed to unbox them with everybody out there. I'm not too sure exactly what is coming in or um, what type of things that I am supposed to be getting in anyway. And as soon as I do, I will definitely go live and I will unveil it. I also want to take you guys, as soon as I get the chance, I do want to take everybody out there, take you guys over to Micro Center and get some things from out of there. And you guys will practically go micro center shopping with me. But let's go back on the topic of the RTX 50 series. If you don't know what happened, just 12 hours ago, this happened about 12 hours ago, and it hasn't really caught a large attention from the media or anything like that just quite yet. But I can tell you what happened. And there was somebody on Reddit who has the 5090 Astral from ASUS. Now, this isn't just, of course, this isn't just a manufacturer issue, not just from ASUS. This is, you can't just blame them, but this has to do more with NVIDIA. I stress about that. It has to do more with their PCB. But anyway, this guy, he was playing his PC in the afternoon, and as soon as he got done gaming, his PC suddenly shut down. And as soon as it shut down, apparently it started smoking. And because it was smoking, he was just browsing the internet. By the way, he was just browsing the internet. He was not. He wasn't gaming. He wasn't doing any of that. He said he was gaming in the afternoon, but as soon as he was browsing the internet for the evening, he went to go attempt to restart his PC. As soon as he restarted his PC, he noticed his GPU actually caught fire. There was flames coming out the GPU. That's how hot it was. So he turned off his PC, of course, immediately, and he went to take a look at the issue. And there was already some damage done. There was scorch marks on the actual PCB, and there was actual scorch marks on the motherboard as well. And it's quite insane because when you're spending especially well over 3,000 USD on a GPU, you shouldn't be running into these type of issues. This is something that is really unheard of. It's kind of ridiculous to run into these type of problems, running into a uh, issue of having GPU fires, missing ROPs, drivers aren't working correctly. Your your HDMI port, your display port isn't working correctly. There are a ton of different issues that are going on with the RTX 50 series that really has to be rectified. And NVIDIA has had a statement about this, and they've not about the fire, so to say, but they did mention something about the ROPs. And the issue with the ROPs, they are saying that it just affected about 0.5%, just half a percent of GB202, and not just GB202, but they also mentioned the RTX 5070 Ti's. It's been affected, but they promised that they have rectified the issue that the missing ROPs shouldn't exist anymore. Now, if you're thinking about the black screen issue, they did mention that there is going to be there is a fix that will be coming out. Miguel from NVIDIA, he said himself that there is going to be a driver update, or it's going to be a video card update. Um, Not a video card update, but a BIOS update for the actual card itself, for this not to happen anymore, for the blacking out of screens, or the issues of non-responsive display ports or non-responsive HDMI ports, that the fix is going to be out there soon. And he did not specify exactly when, and this is off of NVIDIA's forum here that he did mention this. And because of this, um, it's hopefully the issue will be rectified sometime soon. So um, that is just to name a few of the different issues that we're running into for everyone who was attempting to purchase the RTX 5070 Ti. We noticed how much of a fiasco that was, how much issues that there was purchasing it. As predicted, they are in short supply of RTX 5070 Ti's. The RTX 5070s, more than likely, we can see a little bit more because they delayed it. It was supposed to be released at the same time of the RTX 5070 Ti's originally. But we really all know the real issues. We all know the reason why that NVIDIA wants to release the RTX 5070 for around the same time as the RTX 5070 Ti, because we all know that they want to compete with AMD. They want to compete with the RX 9070, because that is one true competition. It's funny to say, because we honestly, when we put AMD and NVIDIA next to each other, we don't really think competition. We think that it's just going to be a blowout, especially when it comes to NVIDIA. But for them to uh, run into these issues that they are having, for them to, um, so to say, shot themselves in their foot. Um, Not with just a regular handgun. I would say NVIDIA has shot themselves in a shotgun on their foot, because it's been pretty bad. But there's going to be people out there that are going to be still interested in purchasing the RTX 5090, even though that there's these issues going on. It's just quite insane. I hope if you are building a PC, um, try to try to avoid the RTX 5090 for now, at least. I mean, it's not really easy to get in the first place anyway, but in a way, it's a blessing in disguise, because it's it's been quite troublesome, this whole RTX 50 series. Let me see here. Let me go back here real quick and change this out. But it's just been it's just been crazy. It just really has been. There shouldn't be. Let me see something here. Sorry, folks out there. Welcome everybody who is just joining into this live stream. I love hearing from you guys. Um, from wherever you are right now, it is the morning. I am located in Florida, so it's about 8:52 in the morning now here, at least. Let me see. Let me go here, because this drama just does not want to end, and it's just been crazy. I can't imagine NVIDIA what they're going through. Everybody in the industry has been really busy with trying to figure out what the heck is going on. It's just been crazy. Let's see. There we go. Why is it unlisted? Oh, I see why. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody who is just tuning in, because this just does not want to end. These different issues. Let me just grab this real quick, guys. I'm just trying to fix this stream, because, again, I don't typically stream too often, but I do want to talk about it. I hope for those who have the 50 series also bought the fire extinguisher kit, because it's at this point it feels almost inevitable. It is a very, very hot video card. It requires a lot of power for, especially the RTX 5090s. Requires at least a minimum of 525 watts to power up, and you just have one port powering it up, and that's the 12 volt to X6 port there. But I'm trying to update this because I look ridiculous on my vertical thumbnail here. Yeah, I don't think usually I don't do lives here, so I'm just trying to get the right stuff for this video. And the PC that I use my lives for, it's a whole another type of PC here. So I just gotta find a nice photo here. Oh, I know. Here we go. How about this one? That's perfect. I'll just use this one for now. Let me fix this. Oh, there we go. So how is everybody doing out there? Honestly, Ewan, to answer your question, the 5090 is really not worth it in my opinion. It's well over 2000 USD. It's depending where you're located. I know it's a very expensive card. It's running into all types of issues. Just recently, there has been a fire with a RTX 5090 Astral, and that GPU has 4 fans on there, and it's still caught fire. So, no, personally, in my opinion, it it is not really worth it. It should be the value is not there in the first place. You have driver issues, you have melting cables. Now, this is not specifically. I can't just blame the melting cables on Nvidia here. The melting cables has to do more with possibly the manufacturers here when it comes to the third party manufacturers. And yeah, you would. It's definitely got to be avoided for now, at least. And I'm kind of glad that nobody really has received the RTX 5090 yet, because it's honestly probably saved a lot of PCs out there, because it's just terrible what's going on. If so E1, do you have a graphics card already? What type of graphics card are you running, if I may ask? Let me see. There might be a delay there, so forgive that. Oh, great. Just trying to fix this thumbnail here vertically, and of course, it's giving me some funky issues. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Now I know I gotta make a thumbnail for. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you're looking to get a GPU, and yes, the internet has definitely been buzzing about this RTX 5090, because there's been all kinds of issues going on with it. I would highly recommend looking into the RX 9070s once they get released, if you're looking for a lower budget side. Um, I am looking to do another build, and it's definitely going to be more on the budget end. It's definitely going to be a lot more friendly on that side. And if you if you're looking, are you looking to go a full AMD build or Intel? Either one's, there's nothing wrong with. Definitely could build, or either way, when it comes to your budget. Both AMD and Intel are great. I personally, say AMD is definitely better on the budget side. Um, Intel, they're supposed to be coming out. Yeah, yeah, AMD is definitely the better way to go because with AMD you can get there's a lot of options out there. If you're thinking of the 9800 X3D, that's great. I know it's a little bit more expensive. I think you can get it for just over 450 USD now. I think it's just that. Of course, if you don't want to spend that much for a processor, that's also understandable. AMD also has their other lines, such as even the 7600X is a great choice, and you'll spend probably just a little bit over $200 on that processor. And that would actually perform excellent when it comes to a gaming PC, assuming that you're not going to do anything too crazy. You're not planning to do any type of video editing or graphic design. It's definitely better to go with a processor like that, like a 7600X or a 9800 X3D. It's better if you can get the X3D chipsets even. But and nothing over a 7800 X3D or 9800 X3D. After that, it's kind of going to be pretty much overkill for gaming. You'll notice a slight increase when it comes to FPS, but not a whole large increase of FPS when it comes to that. But yeah, it's just this RTX 50 series issues just continue to plague everything. There's definitely a lot of issues going on with it. Hey, what's up, Sandeep? Last car. There's, as you know, there's a lot of different issues going on with the RTX 50 series. I know I'm smiling, but it's not because of the 50 series. Kind of pretty pissed off about it, actually. It's been quite a headache. It's been really, really hard to get a 50 series. I've even reached out personally to some people in the industry, and they even have a hard time getting it to me. And I'm kind of glad I didn't get it that way anyway, because I can't imagine spending the money for a 5090, especially if it catches fire, because that's the most recent case with it. That, and I'm sure you guys heard about the ROPs, the problems with it, how they are missing. NVIDIA claims that there's only about 0.5% that are missing those ROPs, but that's kind of hard to believe. So that's only less than half a percentile, and that the issue has been rectified on their end. They're saying that it hasn't been just a GB202, but it's also been affecting the RTX 5070 Ti, which I believe is the GB203. It's been affecting them, but I haven't seen any reported issues with them, at least. And for those, let's see. So if I had to choose between an i5-12400 F or a Ryzen 7 5700, that's a good one, actually. Now, this one's a little bit tricky because Sandeep Laskar is asking on the vertical stream here if he wants to go i5-12400F or just go to AMD 7 5700s. And they're both great processors here. Now they're going to be two different systems. Now, the i5-12400F, at least you'll be on a newer system, but you can get one if you get a motherboard that supports DDR5 and PCI Express 5. That's probably the better way to go. I would probably suggest that. Now I got to say, Intel's 12th generation is really good. It's great. It's actually one of my favorite generations when it comes to Intel side. And I can say I would probably go with that over the Ryzen 7 5700. Not to say that Ryzen 7 5700 is a bad choice, but it is a little bit more dated. And at least if you choose to upgrade your system, if you choose to get a newer motherboard, at least you already have the RAM already set for it. And you can just easily replace the processor if you want. I would definitely go with the i5 1200 400F. Now, if you were able to spend a little bit more, I would definitely go with the Ryzen. I would go with the Ryzen 7. Try to go to the 7th gen series. They are getting a lot more cheaper when it comes to Zen 5. So definitely take a look into it. Um, but that's a great question out there. Now, for those who are just tuning in, I'm just here talking and ranting about the RTX 50 series. It's been quite a headache, and it hasn't even been a full month yet. It just got released about 3 weeks ago. For all those who have all the RTX 50 series, I sincerely hope that everybody out there has a fire extinguisher nearby because recently, if you haven't heard, the RTX 5090 Astral caught fire. And has been reported by somebody on Reddit. Now, this person, he was not even gaming, he was just browsing the internet. Now, he says he was gaming earlier in the day, but he was browsing the internet in the evening, which it should have immediately cooled off because as soon as you're done gaming, the graphic card becomes immediately inactive and it cools off quickly. But for some reason, there was something in the background. I don't know if he was running something like Wallpaper Engine or something. Something triggered it. But anyway, he was browsing the internet, and as he was browsing, he noticed smoke coming out of his desktop. And as soon as he saw the smoke, he went to go shut down the PC. He shut down the PC. He went over to it, and then he immediately shut it down. As he did, he took apart his case and noticed that it was on fire. His card was literally on fire. So he took out the card and everything, and he had scorch marks on not only his GPU, but on his motherboard as well. And I will, so for everybody out there who has a RTX 50 series, please really be mindful of it. It's kind of ridiculous that you got to spend over $2,000 on a RTX 5090 to monitor it, to baby it. You're spending $2,000 for a reason. Really think about it. Why would you want to purchase a card that's well over $2,000 and you're running into these type of issues? Is it really worth it? I mean, some people are spending well over $3,000 for these cards, and let alone you have people who are going on the internet, such as eBay, going on Facebook Marketplace, or wherever they can find a RTX 5090, and then runs into this issue. Is it really worth throwing away $6,000 for something like this to happen? Really, again, think about it. Sure, it's known to be the best card. NVIDIA has the best cards when it comes to any type of GPU, no doubt, right? I can agree with you there. But there is to an extent. They are a great card because not because they're just powerful, it's because they're usually built with quality. Now you really have to question RTX 50 series line. Is it really built with the quality? Is it really worth over $2,000? What's up, Oz? I just seen your message here. And oh wow. So Oz is saying, Rose, I hope I'm saying it right. Oz, he's saying that Best Buy will only let you get the card in store. He saw a 5080, but they wouldn't hold it for him. He found a guy selling it online, and it was the same exact card. Of course it is, because the guy wants to be a scalper, just another one in the bunch. And yeah, there you go. The card is a 5080 Master Ice. It's about 2,099 to 2,372 after tax. He managed to get it for MSR. Okay. Oh wow. Yeah. I just at least with the RTX 5080s, I gotta say the value's there, and they are not missing ROPs at least because um at least now the AORUS Master, they are great cards. they're usually the top end when it comes to Gigabyte, when it comes to their GPUs. Now, for the 5080s, I got to say those are probably the best in value and the ones that have the least trouble. Now, if you're coming from a RTX 40 series, it's probably not going to be really worth going from a 40 series to a 50 series, to be honest. But he's coming from a 30 series, which is completely understandable. Now, for everybody out there, again, once again, I have to say, if you're really thinking about to get the RTX 5090, really think about it. Honestly, it's a blessing in disguise that nobody has this card, that not as many people really had bought this card because honestly, the value is not there. Because again, I stress that Nvidia is about being the best at in quality, but now they felt that they can kind of just become lackluster in it, that they felt that they were so far ahead of the competition. Kind of almost kind of almost reminds you of the whole rabbit and the turtle, right? They're so far ahead. And they're the rabbit, and that they ended up falling asleep during that race, and then the turtle gets ahead, and that's how AMD can really take over. Now, no, that's a bit of an exaggeration, that how AMD taken over, but they can definitely take a little bit more market share because of it. And the reasoning is that they are AMD. All they have to really produce is one thing that Nvidia is missing. They are just missing that one thing, and you know exactly what that is. AMD, all they need is supply. If they give the demand that is necessary, especially for those who are gamers, for anybody out there who wants to build a PC and they give that demand, they can certainly do it. They can give that demand out there. And if they do that, they can really get ahead of the competition. Yeah, exactly. 5090 was what I wanted originally. I decided to wait until they figured the Hydra out. Yeah, definitely the better option. It honestly isn't bad to go water flow. If you ever thought about doing like a closed loop, if you decided to do like a water loop, it's not as hard as it seems. I definitely got to do one. I got to do a guide on it, but it's definitely something to consider if you are going with the 50 series. It will keep the card quite cool. And the best part is it's a lot less noisy. And even the ones with the AI wisdom, the hydras that they have that are the AI ones, they're even excellent as well. The biggest thing is just trying to get the air out, and that's usually pretty simple. Just have a lot of patience when it comes to a water loop type of build. So NVIDIA, just to let you know, everybody who is just tuning in, they did have a statement out there about the missing ROPs, and it's not just the 5090s. Apparently, the 5070 Ti has also been affected by this as well. It's been quite messy. I You are anybody out there who was lucky to get a 50 series, I gotta commend you for it because it was hard. It's way worse than the RTX 30 series ever was. So, as I was saying, the 5090 was what I wanted originally. Decided, yes, agreed. And for some reason, that message came up twice. But my CPU is the 7950 X3D. Excellent. That's a great CPU. Does not care about the 5080. I just want to max out the 50. Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you got a 5120 by 1440 ultra wide with 100 and you can max it out, that would be excellent. That it's gotta look quite amazing. Um, Especially with a resolution such as 5120. I love ultra wides. I personally have two ultra wides here. So ultra wide is definitely the way to go. It's hard to turn back to a smaller monitor or a regular 16:9 monitor once you go ultra wide for sure. But so we have a RTX 5090 actual. I call it fire, and my dog just came in too. And so the RTX 5090, we have missing ROPs. That's the biggest thing that's been happening right now. And we have a RTX 5090 that actually caught fire, literal fire. And I can't imagine spending so much money on that and having these type of issues. Just imagine you're spending $2,000 to $3,000 for that, and you're running into not just your graphics card isn't the only thing that goes down to waste, but it's also every component that you built in that PC. Now you got to really watch it. You have to really, the graphics card is quite large. It takes up a good portion of a motherboard, and when it does, you have quite a bit of components to worry about, especially for those who are willing to be spending the money for a GPU. So for those who are thinking of getting the RTX 5090, just it's a good time that you didn't quite get it yet, because there are still cases going on. Again, the fire just happened yesterday. And luckily he caught it, because it could have been a lot worse. His whole house could have caught fire because of this. And it's just unbelievable that this is going on with the RTX 50 series. It's literally got to be one of the worst launches I've ever seen when it comes to NVIDIA. It's quite the mess. And I remember how excited I originally was when I went to go to the events to go see the NVIDIA's keynote, because Blackwell was supposed to be something major, and it was supposed to be a large, big game changer. That's how everybody in the industry Described it. People in the gaming industry also described it that way. That it will change the way gaming will be. It certainly has, not in a positive light. Apparently, there's just too many issues that are going on with it, and hopefully they get rectified. Hopefully, when they do have the larger shipment, more of it does get resolved here. And that is a large issue, and hopefully NVIDIA can really sort that mess out. I am, for the first time, I'm really honestly excited about AMD's release when it comes to the RX 9070, because the 9070 is going to be quite the surprise. If you saw my most current video, I had a link to benchmark about it. Tomaz on X, he had brought it up, and it's almost a 41 to 46% difference when it comes to the 7800X. Not to say 70, the 7800 XT. There is quite the difference there. There is that much of a and this is just the RX 9070. This isn't the RX 9070 XT. So that alone should excite anybody out there, especially who is just looking to build a PC. And I've had AMD before, and they are excellent graphics card. And all they have to do, again, to really win over the competition, to win over NVIDIA, is really a simple key. Just have the supply and demand. Have the supply that people are looking for, that just wants to build a PC. And that alone can really make a difference in market share. Yeah, that is one thing I am afraid of. Oz did bring up a great point, that the 9070 pricing will be disappointing for people. And um, I guess he has his buddy that's holding out on a 9070 XT. Hopefully, that's not true. Everything that we've heard about the 9070 XT pricing, it's a bit high. Now I'm hearing that it can go as high as 899 USD, and hopefully that is not true. Hopefully that uh, AMD does adjust its price margins here when it comes to that. Now, there is a lot of things that come into play when it comes to the pricing, because it's not just the manufacturers that are pricing, but they're also including the tariffs. And if you're wondering if the whole tariffs came into play, it's already come into play already. The weekend after the launch of the RTX 5090, that's how long ago they actually took effect. And nobody has, excuse me, nobody has noticed it right away because it's not going to be that large of a gap difference in pricing when it comes to that. Um, but when it comes to the RX 9070, the pricing hopefully won't be disappointing. And that might be that could be a big drawback for anybody because then you might be comparing it. Of course, you'll be comparing it to NVIDIA's 5070 because they'll be released around the same time. Their 5070, I'm curious to see how well it performs, and especially for their pricing. It's a great price for the card. If you get the Founders Edition of the 5070, it would be only 599 USD. And if you get a AIB, it's probably going to be what, like 649 USD. And the most you'll probably see it for is at the most maybe 799 because just thinking of the pricing of how the RTX 5070 Ti, that's probably the pricing you'll see for a RTX 5070. And it'll be soon. It'll be released within about 2 weeks. It's supposed to be released on March 5th for the RTX 5070. And again, AMD will be releasing their card then. And I hope everybody's excited for the big announcement. There is going to be an announcement from AMD on February 28th. They're going to talk about not only about their RDNA 4, but they will also be talking about their graphics cards on there as well. But I had to say, when I was at CES, I was pretty disappointed not to see AMD there. Well, I mean, AMD was there, but they didn't present um, the graphics card as which was unexpected. They were supposed to represent it there, and they were supposed to release it a lot sooner. But they definitely seemed like they were scared with the pricing. Yeah. Okay. I think that was a video there. But anyway, yeah, they were definitely scared of the pricing when it comes to Nvidia, and rightfully so. I mean, they definitely, I think, lowballed it to the point where they had no idea they had exactly no idea that they were going to go that low on the pricing, especially when it comes to the 5070, because that was quite impressive, especially when they displayed it being able to even keep up with the RTX 4090. Now, for those who question if it can keep up with the RTX 5090, realistically, if you're going raw power, no, it's not going to compete realistically. I mean, and plus you got way more VRAM on a RTX 4090, but it's hard to say if you are comparing it with DLSS 4 and you're also comparing it with its frame generation and the transformer model. I'm really curious to see that in action, the whole transformer model, because if it really makes that much of a difference. Because for those who tuned into Ninja Gaiden 2 Black when I was playing it and testing out the whole frame generation on there, it just seemed like it was kind of ghosting. That it would seem kind of weird with a RTX 4090 gaming on it. It would certainly do it. It would certainly have no problems going through frame generation, but you wouldn't notice ghosting. It wouldn't really give that smooth gameplay. And on the RTX 4090, I've also benchmarked it on Monster Hunter Wilds. And when it was benchmarked on there, it seemed to give a better score when frame generation was not enabled. But when frame generation was enabled, it had higher frames, but the score was much lower. And I brought this up to attention in a prior video. So if you're interested in seeing those benchmark scores, it is on, I think, that video. I can't remember exactly which one because, again, there's so much drama that I have to share with everybody out there, especially for those who are thinking about getting a RTX 50 series. So if you are planning to get one, really ask yourself, is the quality there for the RTX 5090? Is it worth trying to install it? And remember, it's a really good idea to monitor if if you're going to be running into any issues with any, because this is going to be in your system, your main rig. Fortunately, not everybody out there is going to have multiple rigs. Oh, okay. Okay. So Oz was saying that he played Ark Survival and he was getting about 150 to 180 frames per second maxed out, and there were no clouds. And okay, so if you see clouds, it's not as good. Okay, so I can imagine. I guess because that has to do with the whole rendering side, that probably has to do with it's kind of withdrawal distances and everything. I'm assuming if you see clouds. Now, that is awesome. I would love to have a great discussion with you, Oz, because I am curious to see how these transformer models are. I'm curious to see how well it responds with the whole frame generation, because again, that is the biggest thing. Because on the RTX 4090, I've noticed it it can help somewhat, but if you are using it, you'll notice that the frames will ghost every now and then. I've noticed it on Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, and on Monster Hunter's Wild, I just ended up disabling it, so I didn't really play it too much with frame generation. And unfortunately, the beta was very fast, as you know, if everybody out there who's played Monster Hunter Wilds. It was in and out. It was very quick, and I haven't really got to play it with frame generation on this experience to see how that was like. But Monster Hunter Wilds will be released at least later this week, and definitely want to experience it with it then. For everybody that's tuning in out there, I do have a package that's supposed to be coming in with some goodies, and I'm not too sure what is going to be in that package. But as soon as I get the package, I am more than happy to go live and open it for you guys and see what I get. I'm supposed to be getting a lot of things. So hopefully there's a graphics card inside. Hopefully I get lucky and get one. But more than it's not going to be no 5090, that's for sure. It's been really tough to be able to get one of those in the first place. So now going back onto topic about the RTX 5090, if you're curious, if you're just tuning in, I'm just kind of ranting about this whole RTX 50 series. I'm just kind of disappointed in this whole line of the 50 series. There's just been way too many issues with it. You're missing ROPs, drivers haven't been working. There has been different, now there's fires, melting ports, shortages, and the list can just go on and on. I feel bad for everybody out there who honestly does want to get a 50 series, because this is something that we all look forward to. We all look forward to having a 50 series. And but for that not to happen, let me see. I'm sorry. I'm also here up on X, so I'm not seeing the comments on there. So if you're tuning in on X, I apologize for anyone out there. I'm just about to go onto their studio to see if I can see it. Oh, so you have the new ride, the 5.0 riser. Is that the? Yeah, because they've been just working on those. I think Lian Lee just released one, if I'm not mistaken, 5.0 riser. I'm not too sure how many are out there in the market. Definitely make sure to get a very reliable brand, a reputable brand, because I'm not saying that uh, places like Cable Mod, they've been around for a while. So has Mod DIY, they've been around for a while. But just be careful with them because those are the ones that are catching fire and or really melting. You want to avoid those for now. Let me get rid of this message here. Yeah, this user. But and that was on Twitch. Way too many bots on there. But I do gotta say, with this RTX 50 series, that's been uh, quite the roller coaster. From trying to get it when it first released, um, just trying to just I had multiple browsers open, and usually it's not really an issue. I remember what getting the RTX 30 series. It was relatively it was hard, but it wasn't this hard. RTX 40 series, it was a lot easier. They actually had a decent supply, I think, at that time. It wasn't as much of a struggle. There was even a delay of certain AIBs people weren't really interested in, and they just ended up going with and people picked over really whatever leftover RTX 4090s that they had. But when it came to the RTX 5090, it's almost a question you've got to ask. Does it really exist? Does the 5090 exist? It's crazy because it almost feels like a legend. Yeah, I had, oh, wow. Yeah. You know what's funny? Yesterday, I was on ASUS's website and I managed to also get a RTX 5090 into the cart. And as soon as I did, as soon as I got the RTX 5090 into the cart, I was able to even go into checkout and was able to actually purchase it. Once I went to go purchase it, you know what happens? Right when I put my 3-digit card code in the back, it goes right back to the cart. And I was going insane. I did that at least 10 times. The purchase would never really go through. It would just loop right back into the cart. It would almost be like a glitch. And then as soon as I got through to I actually even attempted to talk to a ASUS rep, and you know what they did? They said they didn't really say anything. They ended up closing out the chat and they ended up freezing up the website because I guess they must have felt, oh, there's too many glitches here. Let's just shut everything down. And that's what they did. So yeah, it was that close. It was I almost had my hands on a ASUS Tough. It was an ASUS Tough RTX 5090. It was just a regular one. I don't think it was the overclock one. No, it was the overclock one. I'm sorry. It was the overclock one, and it was I think it was just over 2,500 that they were asking for it. So I definitely almost had it, and definitely would have been interesting because I really am curious about this port. Now, if everybody knows out there or has seen my prior video about it, they were talking about this RTX this port about the 12-volt high power port or the 12-volt the 12-volt to X6 port. Um, yeah, now in stock. I've been doing that too. I've been trying to. You know what's funny? Sometimes you don't always get the notifications from them, and everybody out there, I definitely gotta recommend it if you are trying to get a RTX 50 series. Go to Zotac's Discord. It's been excellent. Zotac's Discord, everybody, it's a great community out there. You just everybody talks on there. You can have a great chance of actually getting a 50 series because sometimes they'll just let you know, like, hey, the ASUS website is up or MSI's website's up, and you don't even get notified by the uh, the bell alert when it's now in stock, or even on they kind of catch the punch before even now in stock does sometimes. Or there's another one that I've used, but they haven't been great themselves or haven't had a great track record. The other one I've used, they kind of send you to an affiliate link, but it kind of they break this whole link because I feel like they just don't want to pay out those affiliates for some reason. And as soon as you click it, and then you realize, let me just go into Newegg manually, or let me go into another website manually, and then you can get your and try to purchase it then. But I think the worst merchant experience website that I have to say is Best Buy. It's just terrible. It just does not work. I don't know who. Best Buy, I just feel like are all sitting, all the IT guys back there, all the back end guys who deal with this website. It's just sitting in back there in the office, just smoking cigarettes, saying, "Oh, it's all right. We already sent out a notice that we're doing everything we can against bots." And all they do is tell the executives of Best Buy that don't know any better that they fixed the issue, but little do they know they had the same exact problem that they had 5 years ago. Even when PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X was released, they still had issues. I think even Best Buy's website had an issue since back then when it came to the 30 series, because that's when I think it really started since back then. But yeah, it's been really ridiculous when it comes to them. Oh, yeah, yeah. With the new plug. I have a EVGA 1300. How is EVGA's 1300 watts? I'm a big fan of their PSUs. They've been excellent when it comes to um, their PSUs. Never had any issues. They've been solid. They've always been solid. Um, I haven't, to be honest, there's not really a lot of bad PSUs out there. There's it's more excellent PSUs than anything. I've MSI's been great, Thermaltake's been great, Corsair's been great. Um, Voltage is lower. I see. That's interesting. Yeah, that is really interesting. And is that through the? Do you have the ATX 3.1? Is it, or is it just the ATX 3? Or did you use the? Did you actually use the harness for that? Because I gotta know that. I gotta know how because I know some people have been using the RTX's 440 series harness onto the actual 50 series, and it works. But again, you'll experience lower voltage as you're speaking about too. Now, I can't say. I do got to say it's. I wouldn't recommend using any adapters or any third party. Oh, okay. Nice. And that must be, I'm assuming that's probably, you probably have the 12-volt high power, or is it the ATX 3.1, where it has the 12-volt 2x6? Because, yeah, either of them are great. I'm pretty sure. And when it comes to EVGA, I wouldn't worry about that because they are definitely great when it comes to quality wise. Let me see. Let me check my Twitter feed here because I'm also on there as well, and I can't see any of the chats on there anyway. So let me see. Studio. Just going back in there. Oh, taking a breather real quick. It has been quite crazy, and Nvidia, again, if for everybody that's just tuning in, uh, they just announced about the issues about the ROPs, and they said it's about half a percentile that has been affected, and that half a percentile. It's not only just the GB202, it's also GB203, which is the RTX 5070 Ti. That's also been affected as well. Let me see. Just figuring out how to get over to this Media Studio producer. Okay. Just trying to get into X here. Producer. Oh, okay. Oh, that's timed out. So I'm not even on here. That's funny. Okay, so yeah, I thought I was streaming on X. It says I am, but I'm not even really posting here. Oh, okay. So that's what happened. Uh, man, settings. Just gotta try to modify this because this is not right. Oh, there you go. Yes, I am on here. And excuse me, I'm just trying to make sure something is right here. And trying to edit this because oh, I know. Let me just do that. And hopefully it streams this way. I'm just checking my stream here up on Twitter right now on X, and right now I'm just trying to set it up here because apparently I'm on it, but it's just not properly set. Let me see. I thank everybody out there who is tuning into this stream. I definitely want to do something soon for everybody out there. I am wanting to do some sort of unboxing soon, but as soon as whatever is coming in, I'm not sure. I can't wait to open it with everybody out there because I definitely do plan on doing a budget build for everybody who is looking to build a PC. And so you can't, so don't expect a RTX 5090 in there because that's not realistic. That's not really much of a budget, is it? If we choose to throw that in there, but hopefully, getting the RTX 9070 will be something realistic, and hopefully they're more price friendly. If not, then maybe 5070, depending on what it is. I would love to hear from you guys out there on to what you guys would prefer. All right, let me create word broadcast now. Oh, there you go. So that's so so all this time I was streaming, I was never really on Twitch. So I mean not Twitch, on X. So for you guys out there who saw my broadcast out on Twitch or YouTube, then you guys got the exclusive so far because yeah, was it on here? You see edit live chat. What? Oh, there you go. Okay, so I am live. This is new to me, going on here and going ahead. And okay, I guess is there comments on here? I'm not even sure. So if anybody who has AORUS comes with 3.1 12-volt 2x6. Oh yeah, yeah. Usually they do when it comes to Nvidia's RTX cards. They'll come with their adapter, and usually they can be solid, but uh, considering what they did on the last gen when it came to Nvidia's, when it came to their adapters, it can be questionable. But again, I always recommend trying going direct if you can to the power supply. Use the provided cables because that's always the best one. They are to the specifications of your PSU. For everybody on X, I apologize out there. I actually been streaming for a while, for over about an hour. I just didn't realize how it really works. graphics. Oh, some post. I don't know. It's a little confusing for me. Let me see. Oh, do I have an echo? Is that? Let me see. Is that any better? Echo wise? I had no idea. And it's probably because I have two mics on right now. Maybe that's. I have a mic set on the vertical line, and I also have one in an echo. Sorry. Hopefully that goes away. Maybe I'm too close to the mic or whatever. And hopefully that's better. Okay, no, it's not. Let's see. Sounds like, oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I'm not wearing my headset, so that's probably what it is. I think you're right. Okay, I think I'll be fixed after this. Sorry. Okay, so that's how I do it. Is that any better now? Because I think it was Twitter actually. Because I was on there and all right, perfect. All right, perfect. All right, so let me get back into topic here and see. Let's talk about the RTX 50 series. Thanks, Oz. Thanks for letting me know. There was an echo going on. I was just trying to figure it out. I have all these streams open right now. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch, and I'm also on X here to talk about everything about the RTX 50 series and the different issues that they're running into. The most latest issue, if you haven't heard, the RTX 5090 actual caught fire. And for those who didn't know what happened, um, this guy, he was gaming in the afternoon, but then later in the evening, after he was done, usually the RTX 5090 or any type of graphics card will usually kind of go into like a kind of idle mode. And once it does, the temperatures will immediately get into lower temperatures and shouldn't really cause any heating issues. Not sure if he had anything running in the background. Maybe he running a RTX 50. He was running a wallpaper engine or something that he probably felt that was irrelevant, which didn't cause the graphics card, which caused the graphics card to actually be active more than he thought. That's possible, but it's hard to say. And like he noticed smoke coming out of his PC case, and as soon as he noticed smoke coming out of his PC case, then he immediately shut down his PC. When he did, he took off his panel because he noticed it was smoking. He pulled out the graphics card to find it was scorched and it was on fire on top of it, and and his motherboard was also scorched as well, and had some significant damage to it. And apparently that was the he had a issue with that, and hopefully it will be rectified. More than likely, it's from the actual PCB. It's probably going to have to contact ASUS about this issue, even though you can't blame just the man. You can't blame the AIB for it. It's the actual PCB itself gaining too much heat. I'm not sure exactly why it gained too much heat, but apparently his graphics card had to be running in some way. It's insane to be on the internet and then all of a sudden your graphics card just catches fire. And it shouldn't happen. And there was an issue also yesterday, if you haven't heard, is that some of the graphics cards, specifically the GB202, and they're saying some GB203. I haven't really seen any cases of the RTX 5070 Ti really running into this issue, but they're missing ROPs. The way you can check it, just simply download something like CPU-Z, because that gives you a insight of what that graphics card really holds. And when it does, then you can really see if it gives you all the provided ROPs that are needed inside of the graphics card. If it's missing some, it can definitely send it in, because NVIDIA says that they will honor any warranties. Now, they're not saying send it directly to NVIDIA, but if you have an AIB, send it to them. But if you have the Founders Edition, send it to NVIDIA to have them fix it. I want to send it to a retailer. If you got it from Best Buy, just say, because more than likely you're not going to see a card for a long, long time if you send it into them. I know a lot of people who out there, especially when you run into an issue of missing ROPs, it's kind of a pain because your card's working. It's just not performing to the best of its ability. And if you send in your card, you don't know exactly when you'll get it back. And that always sucks, because especially if you want to game or you want to use your card, you want to have something there. And most people out there just doesn't have another GPU lying around where they can use it for temporary at least. And these issues just continue persisting with the 50 series, and you sometimes got to really question: is it really worth spending over $2,000 for a RTX 5090? Is it really worth spending that extra money on a 5090 when you're running into these type of different issues? Let alone that the scarcity of it is quite the pain. You have to hope that you can try to get it from a retailer. If you're lucky enough, you can get it from Newegg Shuffle, or you can get it through Zotac Discord. I highly recommend going on there, because definitely have a much better chance than competing against bots, because that space is just quite ridiculous when it comes to trying to purchase a RTX 50 series. For those who are curious about the driver issue, if you have the RTX 50 series, if you're lucky to get one, and again, it doesn't have to necessarily just affect the RTX 50 series, but the RTX 40 series and the 30 series all have been affected as well for the concurrent driver updates that have been going on with NVIDIA. And I can't remember exactly which driver it was off the top of my head. I think it's four. No, I mean 54272 or something like that. But it was one of those drivers where it released, yeah, and they just released that new one yesterday. And they haven't, yes, thank you, Amir. It was a 57216. That's when it affected. There was blacked out drivers, and you weren't able to use the HDMI port or the display port. You had a non-responsive video card. It just wouldn't appear. And thank you, Amir. And yes, as an Amir, thank you. The new one's 57247. And apparently some of those people out there are still running into that issue. And when you do, NVIDIA says, this is a manual from NVIDIA. He did mention, and this is from NVIDIA's forum as well. He said that they are working on a new driver where it will address the situation. It will address the blacked out screens, and more than likely, it's going to be a driver update more than a video card BIOS update, because that is going to fix the issue, apparently. And he didn't give an exact date when, but it sounds like it will be sometime soon, which is going to be excellent for everybody out there who is looking to trying to fix their issue. There are some temporary fixes out there for the 50 series or any other card for that matter, where you kind of just have to roll back the driver and when you do, it will manage to work again. So those are just some of the issues of the 50 series. I just I could go on and on, but yeah. Oh, so they did release it. So they hopefully they did release it. If they release a new video BIOS update, maybe that is the fix out there. Um, so hopefully that fixed a lot of concerns for those who had the 50 series, because that was an issue that everybody was running into when it came to it. Also, with the melting cables, there was also it had to do more with the third-party cable manufacturers, such as Cable Mod and Mod DIY, and oh, nice, yeah, the 5090 FE. So that's great. Yeah, it's a shame because did you check out your did you check out CPU-Z to make sure that you have all your ROPs? Uh, I hope you paid the actual Founders Edition price and you didn't get scalped for it, because that is that is a lot of BS. That's great. So at least you were able to get it. Awesome. So there are some. So it sounds like Amir. He says he has the RTX 5090 Founders Edition. That's awesome. It's definitely a rare thing to find. Especially, it's not really much people you'll know with a RTX 5090. Even in the industry, it's been hard to get it from anybody from the inside, even, because it's just been that crazy. Nice, nice. So he got his at 1939 euros. So that's a standardized price for the Founders Edition in the UK. And but yeah, even in the inside here, that's not standardized. It's not in the UK. Oh, okay. And British pounds. So he also, I just assumed euro because it seemed like you had the euro sign next to it, but I guess it's for the pounds as well. But I want to try to reach out to a couple manufacturers to attempt to try to get the RTX 5090, and it's been quite difficult. And and even they are having issues, like the production issues, and I'm supposed to get an update sometime next week on it. So hopefully soon that's we'll hear something back from them. But going back to the issues of the melting cables, it seems like more of the issues are third-party manufacturers, such as Cable, Cable Mod and Mod DIY are facing their issues, and they said that they had rectified the issue, and hopefully that they did, because I feel like a lot of it had to do with them more than anything that, and some of the adapters from some of third-party manufacturers that were coming out with these cables. Thing is, it's important to use the actual adapters or the actual cables that your power supply unit comes with, because those are going to be rated for your power supply unit. Should use those ones. I know it's tempting to get like those with a more flexible cable, or those that have a more discrete design, but the money that you're going to spend on a RTX 5090, you want to make sure that you have the hard specifications that you need for your cables for it to have enough power or source enough power to the card, because that is how shorts happen. You're going to have a high resistance on the actual card itself, and on the adapter itself, and because it could be that the gauge of wire might not be thick enough. It could be especially when it comes to the newer designs with the 12 volt high power port. When it comes to the newer ones, they have pins that are much longer compared to the shorter ones. So sometimes they can reach, and it's just not quite enough of a connection for these, especially for those third-party cables. So definitely go with the manufacturer's PSU when you are using the RTX 50 series or any other, or even the 40 series. But that is also one of the main issues. And again, another person that is having issues, this person, he had the 5090 Astral, and apparently he was playing his PC in the afternoon. And as he played his PC in the afternoon, he was done gaming. And typically, when you're done gaming, it's going to cool off the card a lot. And it's awesome here. And um, while he was gaming on his Astral, and this thing has four fans on his GPU. So typically, you would think it would cool a lot quicker. On top of it, you're going to be an idle. Doesn't know if he has been on. It's hard to say if he had something else open, such as Wallpaper Engine or something that uses some sort of GPU usage, because he was browsing the internet in the evening, and as he did, he noticed smoke coming out of his PC case. As he went to his PC case, he opened it up and he noticed that there was a small fire by his GPU. So he ends up pulling it out. And because he manages to avoid a larger fire in his PC, as he noticed that not only is that his GPU was scorched, but also his motherboard was also scorched and it received some damage. And now it's an issue that he has to face. But luckily, but it's funny when you look at these the photos of the actual GPU, it doesn't really look as the 12 volt high power port doesn't look like it was burned up from that side, but almost like the back of the PCB. And it really makes you question about what's going on with these cards. One cable replaced till I have. Oh, okay. Gotcha. For ROG 4, that's an excellent PSU. I love ASUS's. So a month. So it sounds like a cable mod. I think, on cable mod's part, I think I haven't really heard too many issues on their side. I think more of these issues that I've been hearing, a lot of these cables have been from Mod DIY. Originally, cable mod had the issues with back then, and this is way back when it came to the 40 series they did, and but I'm sure they've learned a lot since then because that was about 2 years ago when they ran into their issues. But yeah, definitely a good choice to go. It's definitely something to watch out for. I'm sure you're gonna do everything you can to make sure that the cable is good before you install it. And for those who are still waiting to get this RTX 5090, or you're still planning on trying to get it, yeah, definitely check out like Zotac. So Zotac's Discord has been excellent. There's just a wonderful community out there that does share some information when they are releasing a 5090. Really, any website. It doesn't necessarily have to be Zotac, but they'll mention MSI's website will have some in stock, and you can go onto MSI's website and be able to purchase a 5090. Hopefully, you manage to get through, or maybe that Newegg will have it in stock, or any other manufacturer they'll mention that you have a chance of getting a GPU with them. Some people did manage to get lucky. Some people were, for example, in there was one guy on Discord over there. He managed to say or find some GPUs, RTX 5090s in Chicago in the U.S. And he was able to send the message out there, and some people were lucky enough to be able to pick it up. Oh, nice. Been testing the 5090 when Black Ops 6. Yeah, Black Ops 6 is that game itself, that's quite a mess. The problem is with Black Ops 6, uh, it give it doesn't really give the full potential when it comes to graphics card. And I'm sure you noticed it since you got Black Ops 6. They kind of limit it. Amir has the RTX 5090. I do not have any of the RTX 50 series currently. It's been quite a headache. And but yeah, Black Ops has a lot of issues when it comes to displaying the full potential when it comes to graphics cards. It seems that they really don't like NVIDIA for some reason. Yes, uh, there is a lot of there are some melting issues. A lot of the melting issues are coming from the third-party cables, as I mentioned. Specifically, a lot of more of the issues are coming from mod DIY and and the octopus adapters. Yes, that is a great mention to mention out there. If you can sign up for priority access, if you have a NVIDIA card, you can sign up for priority access to get the NVIDIA RTX 5090 or the 5080, depending on what you would like. So, if you do want to get the RTX 50 series, you can go onto NVIDIA's website and be able to sign up and be able to try to attempt to get the RTX 50 series. Supposedly, the announcement will be sometime next week. Don't know exactly what day it's going to be, but it will be sometime next week from NVIDIA. I hope everybody luck out there who has signed up for it. The 6090, that'll be RTX 6090 probably won't happen for, let's see, 25 now, probably 27. More than likely 2027. You'll probably see the TI variants in 26 if you want to get a TI or a Super, to be honest. And yeah, it's pretty insane how quick NVIDIA has released these cards because, especially the timing, it's been kind of rough for everybody out there to try to get it, especially around the Lunar New Year's. Now, for those who don't know, during the Lunar New Year's, especially in Taiwan, they will take 1 full week off when it comes to manufacturing. So they'll step away from the plants. Nobody will produce anything. And then on top of it, to make things worse, there was an earthquake in Jiayi in Taiwan. Yeah, it's a small. It's not really a small town. It's a little. Well, it is a little town. But anyway, the TSMC over there, they had an earthquake, and they damaged at least 50% of the supply. And because 50% of the supply was damaged, they were only able to salvage about the 50% of it. And when they did, then they were able to send those shipments out. Hence why so many different retailers had so little. I mean, Micro Center had a total of, I think, a little bit over 250 or 260 and nationally. They had 260 nationally. Yeah, you know what's crazy? That alligator jacket that Jensen Huang has, he spent a ton of money on it. It's like worth almost 9,000 USD for that jacket. Yeah. And that's the crazy part, 260 nationally. So you have, well, you have millions of people here in the US. Yeah, it's 10K. That jacket was a fresh fit when he wore at the CS. That was the first thing he mentioned. Did you like my jacket? That was it's definitely a lot of bling to it. It's a nice jacket though, for sure. And I remember going to CS 2025 and being looking forward for this chipset. It's supposed to be a game changer. It's supposed to be a large. Yeah, he's the guy. The company's $1 trillion company. He's definitely got the money. For him, that's like what? That's like $10 maybe. So yeah, and I can imagine his closet is filled with them, filled with different of collections of his different leather jackets. And yeah, just going to that event to see us, just looking forward to it. And just seeing it in person, just to know that it was supposed to be this large game changer. The RTX 50 series was supposed to be something. They probably say this, they say this every generation. Yeah, I bet so. And he did mention that his PC's like what, 15,000. Everybody has $15,000 PCs. I wish that was true, right? But uh, he was also saying about how much of a game changer that this would be. How much the yes, it certainly is. It's a monster in a good and a bad way. Yeah, I agree. They were talking about how frame generation was going to be this amazing thing. How you're going to get an extra 3 frames. So, Amir, in your personal opinion, how do you feel about that frame generation with the new transformer? Do you notice any ghosting at all? Because with the RTX 4090, you can notice some sort of ghosting. Because that was the big selling point when it came to the RTX 50 series, especially because they say the RTX 5070. Uh, yeah, I'm just curious. If you have Monster Hunter Wilds and when it releases, you can test it on there. I think the only other game that really has it, I know Ninja Gaiden 2 Black has it. I tried it on there, and it just ghost. It'll play somewhat smooth, but you can notice ghosting. It's just not that great. Yeah, I'm trying to test it. Tried to. I went to go reach out to different insiders and everything, trying to get this thing, and it's really not easy. I'm even having a hard time getting it. But Amir is one lucky guy, I gotta say for sure. And it's just yeah, that whole transformer model is supposed to be a big difference here when it comes to the RTX 5090. And I'm just curious to see like how well it really does compared to it, because it's funny because on Monster Hunter's Wilds, I've tested it, I benchmarked it, right? And with the RTX 4090 with frame generation, I will get a much higher FPS, but the score is a lot lower compared to if I have frame generation off, but at least it's 100% smooth. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Hey Kevin, you got the 4K 240. I'm assuming you have ASUS's monitor. Is it the 30? It's a great monitor. And yeah, that's what I'm using right now. That's what I have is the RTX 4090 currently. And that's what I have in my main rig. I'm gonna keep that in there. Yeah. ASUS has a awesome, I think it's the PG32. It's OLED. It's definitely one of my definitely the best monitors out there, I gotta say, in the market. And it just makes a large difference, especially when gaming on an OLED monitor. You can just see how good the colors are. It's 100% one of the best monitors out there, I gotta say. Yep, the UCDM. They also released the 27-inch one, but I don't think it's released yet. But there's a couple other ones coming in. Uh, the G790 Dark Hero. Oh, that's sick. Man, Intel guy here. I liked it. Yeah, it's funny. After you play on an OLED screen, you get so adapted to it, you forget how a regular IPS display looks. Until you look into an IPS, then you notice the difference. Yeah, but the RTX 50 series, uh, now the resupply. Now let me talk about that. There is news about a resupply, and from hearing what I've heard about the resupply, Hopefully now it's 3 weeks left. It's supposed to be a large shipment coming through within March. I think the middle of March. They say around March 13th to 14th. There's supposed to be a large shipment of specifically the RTX 5090s. So for those who are looking forward to the RTX 5090, hopefully it will be a lot more of the supply then. And but again, you never know, and especially with this whole scandal when it comes with the ROPs missing, it's just we don't know how much of the supply really got affected, but Nvidia says it's been already addressed. It's half a percentile that's been affected, and my CPU is also tuned and soon. Nice. And you know what's insane? If you went to look for the market for the RTX 4090, it's just as expensive as the RTX 50. Yes, just about to mention that, Kevin. Exactly that. RTX 4090 is as is the same price as the RTX 5090. It's insane. So if you have a RTX 4090 sitting in your rig, it's exactly the same price. That's just how bad the used GPU market is. Main reason, I think a lot of it has to do with people not reselling their cards. People are just holding out on the RTX 5090, waiting to upgrade, and it just thinned out the used GPU market. I mean, even if you look at the RTX 4080 Super, that's at $1,600 USD, which is insane. But it's just been a crazy. It's just been crazy when it comes to this whole with the 50 series, because it just seems that it just doesn't end with the drama. Hopefully it does soon. I guarantee if I open something up here, I'm gonna see something happens. Let's see what else happened now. All right. Okay, so it's been determined that the capacitor blew in the Astral. If you're wondering how the fire started, and with the Astral, and from what they're saying here, let me see. See, it's clearly not associated with the power connectors or the 12-volt high power, as mentioned, because if you take a look, they look like they're in just about perfect condition. There's no issue there. But from the looks of it, it looks like the MLCC, the multi-layer ceramic capacitor, is what blew in the actual GPU. And because that blew, that is the possibility of the fire. Yeah, Jensen starting the fire, right? I mean, it's that hot of a GPU. Everybody wants it that much. I mean, it makes perfect sense. And if you go into the woods, or if somehow everything becomes apocalypto, just make sure to bring a RTX 5090 with you. Definitely will go have no problems starting a barbecue. But it would be that would be quite the conspiracy. Jensen starting it just to say, tells all the manufacturers out there, like, hey, let's burn up some components, because then we can get some more revenue this way. But yeah, it's just surprising that something like this can go through a quality control like this when it comes into these type of issues. How can it literally went through so many different manufacturers? And the funny thing is that just shows you that nobody really looks at the PCBs when it comes to the RTX 50 series. That's how much trust people have in NVIDIA anyway. It's not saying that they've overlooked it, but the fact that manufacturers such as ASUS, MSI, Zotac, and Gigabyte, you have all of them looking at this PCB, trusting it, saying all we have to do is come out with some decent fans with this. Let's come out with some dope looking fans, and let's have some decent cooling on it. They slap that on there, and then they put it out there in the market. And once they do, little do they know that PCB can be some serious issues, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah, I agree. If you honestly look at Nvidia's numbers, like if anybody believes that they make money off the consumer market, it's completely false. If you take a look at their capital, if you ever look at Nvidia's capital, um, about 200, I think it's only about, not even, it's like more like 20 billion is from the consumer market. The rest of the almost like 980 billion comes from the whole enterprise market. It's mostly all from that because that is where Nvidia comes out with the money. So for them, it's exactly that. It's just they don't really have to pay too much attention to the GPU market when it comes to the consumer side, at least, because a lot of their money again goes to into the yeah, yeah. Now that's some money because it just shows you. I mean, what are your thoughts about this whole thing about I gotta ask, what is everybody's thoughts about when it comes to Nvidia and it comes to their whole AI side of the market when it came to with DeepSeek and everything, because that kind of uh, that kind of frightened up quite the market there. It's pretty funny to see even Jensen had to respond. He responded that everybody had a overreaction when it came to DeepSeek. I mean, he's not wrong for that. He's absolutely right. It is a bit of an overreaction, but it I don't think sure DeepSeek can be decent, but I am positive that's not going to be the large game changer. Um, as much as anybody thinks it really is, I think it was more hype than anything that was drawn back. Yeah, even is you know what's funny? Even ChatGPT, they started bringing in reasoning tools. For those who use X, they have Grok 3 now, which is pretty impressive. That also has a reasoning tool now in there too. Now, the real question is, um, we're going to definitely see quite the change when it comes to AI more than anything. We will definitely see more changes in this upcoming year. Especially a lot more people are into AI learning, and a lot of people want the RTX 50 series because of that. Oh, I bet. I bet. How much is the paid version now? Isn't that like almost like $200 a month for ChatGPT? I think it's $200 a month. I know it's up there. I haven't messed with the paid version too much. Oh, 20 a month, that's it? Ah, yeah, then it's probably more than likely worth it just to go get the full version because then you get to experience much. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I can't imagine how well that is. I wonder how it would be if you go into deep learning. You know what I mean? Like if you go into local deep learning with a large model like that, it probably would take quite a few GPUs. I would imagine quite a few. And that's what more and more people want the 50 series for now is to go more into the whole deep learning side. Is they want to get into training models. Yeah, yeah. I'll look into that then because I've been honestly once you use AI and you realize the benefits of it, you honestly will not really go into Google or anything much anymore. You just go straight to ChatGPT, and then it gives you the answers that you're looking for immediately. It saves you so much more time, and you don't have to filter through any type of fluff. So it definitely is a very awesome tool to have. You can literally ask it, what is the best used car you can get in the market for, say, I don't know, say 25,000, and that is reliable, and it will give you a list. Yeah, it's kind of more of a generic tool when it comes to the non-paid versions. I've um I've messed with a lot of different AI models. Um, ChatGPT, ChatGPT. I've done Perplexity. Gemini is also not. Honestly, Gemini is not really that great either. But Grok's pretty good. I've been using Grok a lot. So far, Grok 3 has been impressive. So I just am, but I don't think it's going to be as good as probably ChatGPT because ChatGPT is pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna step off as soon as I get these packages in. Yeah, that's dope. That is dope. I definitely gotta see the capabilities of that. So I appreciate everybody who tuned in into this stream. I thank everybody out there. I enjoyed talking to everybody. If you're not already, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I will definitely go live more often. I'm definitely love to talk to everybody out there because it's nice to hear feedback from everybody. And I definitely want to do some. Thanks, Kevin. I really appreciate it. I will be doing I will be doing some sort of giveaway later at the maybe at the end of the month or into March, depending on when everything comes in. Thanks, Amir. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate a lot of your feedback as well. And thanks to Oz out there for joining in. I appreciate everybody out there. And I will be doing a giveaway sometime late February or maybe middle of March. Make sure you stay tuned. And I will, once I get more information, and whatever goodies come in, I will definitely share that live with you guys to see what came in. And thank you guys again so much for watching. Please take care. Have a great weekend. Yes, sir. Bam, bam. If we stick together. Yes.